Part 2. Azure Moon. Garland Moon. The Golden Deer's Plea. The Kingdom Army has reclaimed the Kingdom capital and plans to immediately begin restoring the country and its forces. But an unexpected request arrives from Claude, leader of the Leicester Alliance. Dimitri promptly responds to the request for aid, and he rushes to prepare the kingdom's forces.
We have received a request for aid from the Alliance. They are being invaded by the Empire. We have only just taken back Ferdiad, and yet I am already asking all of you to move out once more. Please accept my apologies for that.
That's no problem at all. More importantly, how is the Alliance faring?
House Regan has rallied the Alliance lords. They are facing the enemy with all the strength they can muster. We do not know how far that will get them. It seems the enemy's relentless attacks have forced them into a tough situation. Their defeat at Gronder severely weakened the Alliance. I imagine the Empire now intends to destroy them before they can recover.
To think they'd watch us chase their soldiers out of the Kingdom capital, then immediately go invade the Alliance. Their general is Lord Volkard von Arundel. He serves as regent to the Emperor. He has presumably taken command after the Emperor was wounded in Gronder.
He is known for his shrewdness and excels not only in domestic affairs, but tactics as well. He is not an opponent we should take lightly. Lord Arundel. I always suspected that Lord Arundel was behind the tragedy 9 years ago. The timing of his departure from the kingdom, the fact that he abruptly stopped making donations. Too many factors made him suspect. If Lord Arundel conspired with Cornelia, then what Kronya and the others said 5 years ago? Well, never mind that for now. The Alliance needs our help. What are your thoughts?
If we turn our back on the Alliance and then Deirdre falls, it will undoubtedly make our situation difficult further down the road. We would have enemies in two directions, in the Alliance to the northeast, and in the Empire to the south.
That is true. In that scenario, we would not be able to safely march our soldiers to Enbar.
I am terribly worried about Lady Rhea, but I believe we must save the Alliance first. Oh, maybe if we do this, the Alliance will help us out in return. We could ask them to help us attack the Empire. You know, a sneak attack or something.
Annie, when did you become so devious?
What would your mother think?
What? It wasn't that devious.
What do you think, Professor?
Yes, I agree. I will admit that there is something to be gained for us as well, for when we eventually march south. But far more importantly, they need us. We cannot turn our backs on them. We will arrange to head out at once. Prepare yourselves, everyone.
Ah, there you are. Hello. Oh, yes. Apologies. I'm struggling with some unpleasant thoughts. Since the war began, I've ended so many lives. You and your students got your hands dirty as well. Nobody forced you all to join the fight, of course. You did so of your own volition. Still, there must be something very wrong with the world for it to make children into killers. That's true enough. We've all gotten older. Ah, listen to me. I'm sorry for being so glum. Well said. In truth, I don't think any expression will improve my looks. I'm a brute, no matter what face I pull. Ah, you really are just like Geralt. When I was down in the dumps, he'd cheer me up with a playful quip. He gave me his library of jokes, but when I tell one of them, nobody laughs at the punchline. They laugh at me. You, on the other hand, well, you inherited the old man's comic talents. I'm feeling pretty perky now, all thanks to you. I can't stop this war by feeling gloomy about it. Onward, to a brighter future. To tell you the truth, that was another line I picked up from Geralt. He taught me everything about life. He was more important to me than anyone in the world. Apart from you, perhaps. Oh, sure, there's that, but not only that. When I look at you or see you fighting in battle, it's like I'm seeing a sibling. But at the same time, it's like seeing something sacred and powerful. Something I must defend. You're so important to the future of Fodlan, and to me. I promise to continue protecting you with the strength of a knight and the love of a big brother. Good. In the name of Geralt, I swear to keep you safe. You're welcome to return the favor, should you feel so inclined.
Hey, sorry for the wait, Professor. Thank you so much. Wow. Yeah. 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 What a wonderful aroma. I feel like you can see right through me. Really? Thank you for the treat, Professor. I'd like to do this again sometime.
Your Highness, thank you for everything.
This is sudden. Why so formal? You are not about to tell me you intend to leave the army, are you?
Oh no, it's not that. I just had the chance to return to the capital on military business. It had really been a long time. Life's pretty hard there right now, but its old vitality seems to be returning bit by bit. If it wasn't for you, I'm sure things wouldn't be looking so promising. So...
Come now, no need to exaggerate. Do not forget that I abandoned them and fled once as well.
You had no choice. If you had remained in the capital, you would have been killed. If you keep thinking so dark and gloomy, you're gonna end up looking just like Father.
Annette, you probably do not realize, but over those 5 years, I took many lives. I slaughtered generals and officials alike with brutality you would scarcely think a human was capable of. And as I have intensified my fight with the Empire, how many people have fallen in the capital? My hands are already dripping with blood. I cannot be forgiven.
You really are a lot more like Father than I am. Before Father left us, he used to say similar things. I don't want you to end up like him. So, I've been thinking, when this war is over, I was wondering whether I could help you with your work. Of course, I don't know how much I'd be able to support a king.
What are you saying?
If I leave you to your own devices, you'll forget how to laugh. We can't have that. You won't be able to do what you have to do with such a miserable look on your face. So, if you'll have me, I'd like to stay by your side. If you're sad or suffering, I'll just starve you until you muster a smile.
Starve me?
Hey, you weren't supposed to laugh at that part. I thought a lot about this.
Sorry, I could not help myself. Certainly with you around, I will not have any cause to frown. By all means, join me, Annette. And never lose that sweet smile of yours.
Yes, I promise. I'm so sorry for always taking up your time, Professor Hanneman.
Nonsense. I told you to come to me anytime you needed help. Nothing to be sorry about at all. So, what can I help you with today, Miss Annette?
Oh, nothing in particular.
Perhaps not related to your studies, but I sense something else troubles you.
You see right through me, Professor Hanneman. Okay, here goes. The truth is, I've been wondering what I'll do when the war finally comes to an end.
Gilbert had a long career as a knight. I imagine he would smile on his daughter following his lead. Your marks at both the School of Sorcery and the Military Academy were exceptional. You have many, many options. The only trouble I see for you is in picking which one to chase.
You've hit the nail on the head. There's so much I want to do. I feel completely lost.
Lost, hmm? It seems to me that you're just lacking in decisiveness.
You think so?
For example, I've already been considering my own future once this war ends at last. I think I might leave Garrick Mach. I've spent a great deal of time researching crests, both in the Empire and at the monastery. Fodlan is large, with much to see and learn. It would be a shame to spend all my years in too few places.
But where will you go?
That's the question, isn't it? I've considered the School of Sorcery in Ferdiad. It would be good to get a new viewpoint on crest research. There are certainly discoveries to be made. However, new places are daunting. Yet I'd have no complaints if I had a former student as an apprentice. Say, a former student who is brimming with curiosity, talented at magic, and as tidy as myself.
You don't mean me, do you?
I was merely expressing a possibility. It all depends on your own feelings and interests.
I have considered that it might be nice to be a professor like you. But I'm such a scatterbrain, and I make mistakes all the time, so I'm not confident I can manage.
Those are but minor side notes compared to your wonderful qualities, Miss Annette. You are serious in your studies, and possessing of excellent character. You surpass even myself.
Do you really think so? Maybe I can do it after all.
I truly feel you could. Yes, you could accompany me to Ferdiad. I think that would be most splendid, don't you?
I feel like, with your guidance, I could excel anywhere.
First, though, we must put an end to this war. The future cannot begin until we achieve victory.
That's true. I'm gonna try my hardest to make sure that happens.
I know you will, Miss Annette. You have my full support.
very same night we liberated the capital, a messenger arrived from Deirdre. Claude must have predicted that we'd retake it. Claude's a hard person to read. It's obvious not much escapes his eye, though. Kind of unsettling, honestly.
Pathetic. Had to be done. Pathetic. Ineffective. I'll cut a path for His Highness. Pathetic. Weak. Luck wasn't with you.
Take this!
A threat eliminated. Weak. Pathetic. I'll cut a path for His Highness.
Okay. Maybe. Ugh.
Hey!
Ugh.
So House Regan has regained its influence in the Alliance, and is gathering forces. Claude always was somewhat inscrutable. It's strange somehow to hear talk of his brilliance as the leader of the Alliance.
Hello there!
Using the Great Bridge of Myrden as a base, we'll spread out and cover as much ground as possible in our search for Her Grace. Judging by the information we've gathered, the most suspicious location is definitely the Imperial capital, the Hrim territory, whose leader is a mere puppet, and the Ire territory, whose leader was deposed and disappeared. The Empire has a lot of places with suspicious happenings, and it's certainly worth investigating. but it won't do to take too much time in relieving the Alliance army. Please, hurry.
Even if we do enter Alliance territory, we're not gonna find Lady Rhea there. I wish we could leave Claude be and go attack the Empire. I suppose if we can't beat the Empire forces here, then we can't get into the Empire lands, can we? I guess that just means it's hard work time, huh, Professor? I guess that... Thanks. Do you need me for something, Professor? Thanks. Gotta cool it down. What? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. What? Yeah. Lady Rhea sure seems to like you, Professor. I don't know why. Well, I still got some work to get done. Thanks for the tea. See ya, Professor. I guess that... Thanks, Professor. Thanks, Professor.
Cornelia Arnhem. That's a familiar name, yes. She once studied in the Empire. My understanding is, shortly after I left the Empire, she did as well. Unlike myself, Cornelia traveled to the kingdom. Apparently, she halted a plague and was rewarded with a quite powerful appointment. That such an outstanding researcher should fall to such depravity. Sickening, Professor, and quite sad.
Speaking of which, with the capital recaptured, I desire to call him Your Majesty rather than Your Highness. He would refuse my desire, rightfully pointing out that he has not as yet been crowned. However, the day this war is ended and the Church has placed the crown upon his head, then he will truly be our king, and I will call him Your Majesty at last. I must go hear the reports from our spies. There is something worrying me, and... No, it can wait. I shall tell you more when our information is more concrete. I have a request. Thank you very much.
I thought there was a chance that Cornelia had captured Lady Rhea, but it seems that is not the case. Our next foe, Lord Arundel, was once a pious adherent to the Seros Creed. His contributions to the Church stopped quite abruptly some time ago. I think it is likely the man knows something.
You plan to aid Claude, do you not? Huh, I think that is absolutely marvelous. Being opposing forces at the Battle of Gronder was ill-fated. It hurt to side against him. I am happy that things have taken a brighter turn now.
What do you think? Remember the Death Knight who stabbed me 5 years ago? Of course you do. How could you forget? Well, it turns out he's a general in the Imperial Army, claiming victories on dozens of battlefields. But it looks like he's not at Deirdre. Like every man in my life, he's run away from me. And he better run. One day I'm gonna find that guy and pay him back for what he did to me.
I heard that Deirdre is under attack. I hope Judith is all right. She may be the hero of Daphne, but facing the might of the Empire? I wish there was something more I could do. But I can only pray and hope.
Pardon me.
It is not guaranteed to be good, even if everyone sings earnestly. It is not easy after all.
Listen to the others and harmonize. Work together. The same in music as on the battlefield.
We're still searching for Lady Rhea. No news on that, I'm afraid. Lord Arundel, the Emperor's uncle, is the regent of the Empire. If we crush them at Deirdre, maybe we'll capture him and wring some clues out of him.
Really?
I was getting excited for our big Empire showdown. I spent so much time mentally preparing. Then we shifted focus to Deirdre. I hadn't been expecting that. But, as a knight who's sworn to serve the goddess, I cannot turn a blind ear to those who seek my aid.
Hey, you.
What about Deirdre, the aquatic capital? I've heard it's a magnificent city, you know? If we're going, I wish it wasn't to wage war. It'd be more fun to visit with a cute girl on my arm. Yeah? Maybe you and me? That'd be a good reason to survive the war.
Let's see. It was over 20 years ago. There was an illness raging across Ferdiad. While people were dying left and right. It was Cornelia who saved the kingdom from that dreadful illness. No, I hear she was originally an imperial scholar. She was in the kingdom by my father's invitation. People praised Cornelia as a saint for ending the epidemic. But there came a day when she completely changed. Her behavior, mannerisms, likes, dislikes, everything. Despite all that, Father still appointed her to a high post. After all, she had saved the kingdom from ruin by that disease. But above all, my stepmother trusted her. That's why what that woman said is... Never mind.
Lord Rodrigue Fraldarius has passed on. Margrave Gautier has assumed his position and is now gathering the lords of the Eastern Territories. House Gautier is equal in prestige to House Fraldarius. Sylvain is a Gautier. These lords are reorganizing the Fargus army and eradicating any remaining factions that claim allegiance to the Empire. Of course, His Highness is being kept apprised with regular reports, but it falls to me to monitor him and ensure he does not try to take on too much. I would ask you to do the same. If you take your eyes off that man, even for a moment, he is liable to do something rash.
People praised Cornelia as a saint for ending the epidemic. But there came a day when she, despite but above... Thank you. Please, allow me to take you up on your kind offer for company. Thank you. It smells delightful. So it is. So it is. Hmm? So it is. So it is.
No.
Thank you for the treat. I had a wonderful time. I would love to do this again, if that is acceptable to you.
What do you think?
The Alliance leader is too demanding, and the prince is too soft-hearted. Don't you think? They spilled much of each other's blood at Gronder. I lost a lot of friends to the Alliance. Sorry, I shouldn't complain. I know this is tactically sound. Everyone seems on board with it, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any misgivings.
If you travel east from the Alliance and cross Fodlan's throat, you enter the land of Almyra. House Goneril's territory touches the eastern border of the Alliance. They also have Lord Holst, the most valiant warrior in the Alliance. Tasked with keeping watch over the Almyrans' movements, he rarely leaves Goneril territory.
Professor!
It'll take a little while yet for the capital to be restored to its former glory. But it's not dead yet. Doesn't matter how many times you put the people of Ferdiad down. They'll get right back up again. Just you watch. Before long, things will be back to how they were.
Speaking of which, I went to visit my adoptive father at his home in the capital. He used to grovel at Cornelia's feet when the city was under her control. But after it was liberated, he started courting the kingdom instead. I suppose he was just doing what he needed to survive. No matter what becomes of the world, it'll always be plagued by people like him.
Deirdre, huh? I've always wanted to go there. In Fargus, most of the towns are pretty much glorified fortresses. So, to hear about a place called the Aquatic Capital, it just sounds so elegant. When the war's over, I hope I can visit with everyone there.
Eating food always fires me up. Hoorah! Let's go fight somebody!
Looks good. I will eat well and restore my strength.
Claude, eh? He always was sharp among his peers. Never let himself get caught up in conventions. He wasn't typical in Fodlan. I'd like to save him if we can. I know. And I'm sure he's already calculated exactly when that will be.
A hungry hero is no better than a well-fed soldier. Do you know that saying? No? That's because I just made it up. If you're hungry, you're never going to be at full strength. Keep your belly full and stay strong.
I enjoy baking sweets, but I'm not sure how I'll do cooking other types of food. I see. Cooking is much more exciting than studying or training. Wow.
That reminds me.
Professor? Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Deirdre is known as the Aquatic Capital. It's a beautiful town with streets that seem to float on the water and an impressive harbor. In times of peace, it would be a wonderful place for a holiday. Anyway, best of luck in the next battle.
We can't actually join you on the battlefield, but rest assured that we're there in spirit. We're doing everything we can to support the army, so give it your all out there.
Really now? There's unrest everywhere these days. All of my fellow merchants seem to be endangered. I hope things go back to normal soon. People need more to smile about, aside from my great deals. Hey, how about a favor? Welcome! Is that the one? Thanks a bunch. Come back soon!
Whew, time for a breather. Hey, Professor. Yep, noticed you have been too. Seems like it's been a real rough day for just about everybody, huh? I've been so busy I still haven't eaten. I hope there's still food left. How come you're carrying that around? Whatever, I'm hungry. When you're hungry enough, just about anything tastes good. What a day. I need a nap, but I still gotta get the dining hall cleaned up. Professor, that's funny. You push yourself harder than anybody else. You make me look lazy. Besides, I don't even break a sweat doing this stuff. The day Lady Rhea comes home, I want her to see the monastery the way it was 5 years ago. That's why I do all this stuff. For her. And the harder I work, the better. Heck, I'd do more than I do now if there were hours in the day. But I can't go without sleep. Tried once. You must think I'm pretty weird, huh, Professor? I'm always on about Lady Rhea, and I'm not even from Fodlan. I bet most people around here think I'm kinda weird. But I'm real grateful for everything Lady Rhea's done for me. That's nice of you to say. Real nice. Thanks, Professor. It's good to know you like me. Helps me feel even more at home. I've heard people say that good folks have a heart of gold. Not real gold, I mean. Just they always care about everybody else. Even guys like me. Lady Rhea's incredible. But I figure you're just the same, Professor. Okay. I guess I gotta give in and get some sleep. I'll get up extra early to make up for it. Good night, Professor.
My uncle gave me some of my father's belongings, weapons, books, but there was something else that my old man really wanted to pass down. He wanted me to inherit his mission, ensuring that Dimitri ascends the throne. Or so I believe.
Deirdre, so when the war's